Hi everyone. So the important topic from your physiology is the pain pathway. So they can ask the questions related to pain pathway like define pain, describe the pain pathway and give a description of the orofacial pain. Okay, it's a very important topic related to the physiology in your basics paper. Okay, so let's discuss. Myself Dr. Saiti, Team MDS Conquer. So coming to the definition, so it is given by International Association of the Study of Pain as an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience which is associated with actual or potential tissue damage or describes in terms of such damage. So the definition according to IASP has to fall in exactly the way it is being given. Okay. So next is the various sensory receptors. So these are the various sensory receptors. So for the free nerve endings, for C fibers carry the slow pain, whereas A delta fibers are for the fast pain. And the Merkel receptors are the tactile receptors in the submucous of the tongue and the oral mucosa. Missinus receptors are the tactile receptors of the skin. And Ruffini's receptors are for the pressure and warmth receptors. Croce's receptors are cold. So K you can remember like that. So cold and K, and P is for pressure. So Pacinian receptor is for the pressure receptors, as well as Ruffini is like rough. So it is like warmth and pressure again. So and the last is a muscle spindles or the mechanoreceptors in the skeletal muscle. So these are the various sensory receptors that you need to mention before entering to the main answer. So coming to the characteristics of pain, for every pain it should be noted the onset and the location, the duration, the intensity of the pain and the type of the pain. So throbbing pain is like the pulsating feeling, lancinating is like the cutting or a stabbing type of feeling, whereas gnawing pain is a persistent dull pain. And you should also know the aggravating factors, the relieving factors, associated symptoms and any previous treatment that is being done. So these are the various characteristics of the pain. So coming to the components of the pain pathway, so these characteristics actually you can write at the last. So first you need to write the definition, followed by the sensory receptors, followed by the components of the pain. The characteristics you can write at the end. So coming to the components of the pain pathway, these are the components. You can write this flow chart as given here. The receptors to the spinal cord, the medulla, thalamus and the cortex, which are the higher centers. So how is the exact pain pathway is described in this particular picture. So you have to draw this diagram. So it is an important question for almost all the departments. So you have to put in this diagram for sure. Okay. So if it is a tooth related pain, like for example, if an impulse is from the molar, then through Gasserian ganglion it reaches the trigeminal spinal tract nucleus, wherein it synapses with the second order neurons and then it goes to the higher centers for the evaluation. Okay, higher centers like the medulla, thalamus and all that, it goes there for the evaluation. Okay, so this diagram you have to draw. So you can put forward like this cross section of the brain as well as this diagram. If you draw it in a neat manner, that will be very useful. So without diagram you can't explain and you will not score any marks. So diagram has to fall in. Okay, later you can give this description or you can draw and you can write the flow chart, and later if you have time you can even describe it. Okay, so the pain pathway, first you have to write the components of the pain pathway followed by the exact pathway. Okay, so there are actually two types of main pain pathways. So that is neospinothalamic tract and paleospinothalamic tract. Okay, so as I said, the A delta fibers carries the fast pain and the C fibers carry the slow pain. So if it is intense pain or acute condition, then it carries by the A delta fibers, while via neospinothalamic tract it directly reaches the higher center. So that is for the quick fast pain. Okay. So as you can see, the one on the lateral side is the neospinothalamic tract, that is NST tract. As you can see in the picture, the NST tract, which is the lateral one, it is direct. So directly from the tooth it goes directly to the higher center. Okay, whereas next coming to the slow pain. Okay, it is carried by the, so if the pain is being carried by the C fibers, then it is called as a slow pain. Okay, so it synapses with the non non-nociceptive specific neurons, and it is carried via paleo-spinothalamic tract, which passes through the reticular formation, which is influencing or influenced by the modulating interneurons. As you can see in the picture, the lateral one is a neospinothalamic tract, as you can see, whereas medially it is a paleo-spinothalamic tract. This one is a paleo-spinothalamic tract, where you can see the interneurons. Can you see there? At each and every place there are interneurons which are there. That is the reason it is not it doesn't carry the fast pain. It is slow. It is interrupted by these interneurons. That's the reason it is slow pain. Very simple. So you have to keep these words in your answer sheet. That is paleo-spinothalamic tract for the slow pain, which is carried by the C fibers to the higher center, and it has the modulating interneurons. Whereas the neospinothalamic tract, the neospinothalamic tract carries the quick and the fast pain, which is carried by the A delta fibers. So that's it. So from impulse from the molar or any tooth, it's carried to the Gasserian ganglion, from there to the trigeminal spinal tract nucleus, and again to the higher centers where it is evaluated. So this is how you have to describe the pain pathway. So initially you have to write the definition, followed by the sensory receptors, followed by the main components of the pain pathway, and then you have to describe the pain pathway. You have to draw this diagram and you have to describe how it is being carried. What are the main components, that is the paleo-spinothalamic tract and the neospinothalamic tract. So this is how you have to describe with the beautiful diagram. Okay, so the same flow chart you can draw along with your description you can give. Next, coming to the gate control theory that you have to put forward there. So it is been hypothesized that, so it is given by these scientists. Later it has been hypothesized that the pain perception was not solely due to the activation of the nociceptors, but also interaction between the pain conducting and non-pain conducting neurons. So non-pain conductive nerve fibers actually interfere with the pain conduction, and they alternate or they alter the perception of the pain. Okay, if there is a improper function of this non-pain conducting fibers, then the gate opens, because of which the pain conduction occurs and the pain is more percepted. If the function of the non-pain conducting fibers is well and good, then the gate will be closed and the pain altering the pain perception will be there. Okay, this is how the gate control theory you need to explain. So if you put these words in your answer, that's enough. Okay. So now coming to the various types of pain, that includes acute and chronic, inflammatory and non-inflammatory, somatic pains, which is again a superficial and deep. Deep pains include the musculoskeletal and visceral, neuropathic and the neuralgic pain, and the functional pain. So these are the various types of pain. So coming to the inflammatory pain. So inflammatory pain is a condition where there is a inflammation. Cause of the pain is the inflammation. So it could be the inflammation action by the macrophages, mast cells, or any of the main mediators of inflammation. So how does it is? The sensory neurons will carry to the higher centers where the spontaneous pain and the pain hypersensitivity is being seen. So that's the simple thing. You can draw this diagram if you want. Then non-inflammatory pain actually includes the neuropathic pain. So there is no prior inflammation there. So here there is a peripheral nerve damage, because of which there causes spontaneous pain or pain hypersensitivity in the higher centers. So you can simply draw this diagram. You can show a diagram showing the peripheral nerve damage. So that's enough. So pain is response in damage to the nervous system or abnormal operation of the nervous system. So this pain is expression of the abnormal sensory processing, and usually it is persistent or recurrent. Okay. So what is the main difference between the neuropathic and the neuralgic pain is? Neuropathic is continuous, whereas neuralgic is episodic or paroxysmal in nature. Okay. There is no longer periods of they have long periods without any pain. So coming to the neuropathic, again it is dull with sharp exacerbation, whereas neuralgic it is sharp shooting and moderate to very severe. Neuropathic pain, sensory loss, vasodilatation and swelling may occur. In neuralgic pain, we know they are discrete trigger zones. So if you write in this tabular form showing the differences between the neuropathic and neuralgic, it will be definitely scoring. Coming to the functional pain. So actually here they are normal peripheral tissue and the nerves as normal. In inflammatory pain we know because of inflammatory mediators there is tissue damage that is being carried by the sensory nerves to the higher centers. In the neuralgic pain there is peripheral nerve damage, right? Whereas in functional pain then there is normal peripheral tissue and the peripheral nerves are also normal. The main processing is there, the abnormal central processing, as you can see in this diagram. So there is abnormal central processing because of which the pain occurs. So this is called as a functional pain. Simple. So if you can draw this diagram, it will be very useful because pain pathway is actually asked as an essay question. So you can put forward these diagrams which are easy to draw actually. Pain pathway diagram you have to draw, components of pain pathway you have to describe in a flow chart, and the pain pathway also you have to just adjacent to the diagram you can clearly give the flow chart, okay, of neospinothalamic tract and the paleospinothalamic tract, followed by which you can describe these types of pain as the inflammatory, neuropathic and functional. Okay, in inflammatory because of inflammation, tissue damage and sensory nerve or the pain is carried to sensory nerves to the higher center. In neuralgic pain, peripheral nerve damage, and in functional pain there is normal peripheral tissue as well as the nerves, but abnormal function in the higher center that causes the functional pain. So that's it, very simple. Next, coming to the classification of the orofacial pain. This classification you have to write irrespective of your departments. So it is very important. So just have a look. There is nothing that to describe or explain in it. So you can have this classification, you can write in detail. Okay. Next, coming to the pain of dental origin. So for endo point of view it is very important. So acute pulpal pain, it is of sudden onset, shorter duration and it is severe and throbbing. Chronic pain is like gradual in onset or insidious in onset. Mild to moderate dull pain will be there and pain will be there for longer duration. Periodontal pains, patient usually complain of dull gnawing type of pain, and again in acute periodontitis dull throbbing pain will be there, whereas chronic periodontitis is usually painless or dull pain. So this is how you have to write for the pain of dental origin. Next, the cutaneous or mucogingival pains. The pain will be bright and stimulating in quality. So there will be localization of the pain will be excellent and anatomically it will be accurate. So application of any topical anesthetic gel will temporarily arrest the pain. So this is how we have to describe the mucogingival or the cutaneous pain. So coming to the neuralgias, so you have to write, you have to describe as classifier like this, that is paroxysmal and continuous. Paroxysmal or episodic are the trigeminal, the glossopharyngeal and the spinopalatine. The continuous include the post-herpetic and the burning mouth syndrome. So if it is a medicine student or pathologist student, it's better you describe these neuralgias, that will add to your score. So that is the sudden unilateral stabbing or a throbbing type of pain, lancinating type of pain which is extremely or exactly unilateral along the course of the nerve. So like that you can explain, and the trigger zones you can explain. So this is how it is important. So next, coming to the one more important for oral surgery point of view is the causalgia. So it is a sudden constant burning pain that usually occurs or injury to the peripheral nerve, and it is often considered as a type of a complex regional pain syndrome. It is dull, persistent, variable, diffuse burning sensation will be there, which is usually followed by a traumatic or a difficult extraction of a multi-rooted teeth. Okay, so this is causalgia. So followed by a traumatic extraction of a multi-rooted teeth, there will be dull, persistent, burning type of pain at that area or at that location. So that is called as causalgia. Okay, that is due to the peripheral injury to the peripheral nerve fibers it occurs. So you have to write this. Next, the headaches, just you can name it, all these types of headaches, the migraine, the cluster headache, all these are also again related to pain. You can just classify and write the names. Coming to the referred pain, so you have to write the referred pain is nothing but the reflective pain. So the pain will be there in a location other than the site of the stimulus. Okay, so for example, maxillary sinusitis, the pain usually elicited in the upper molars, roots of the upper molars, and also the cardiac pain or the spondylitis pain is referred to the lower jaw. So referred pain is that where it is reflective, the pain is perceived at a location other than the site. Okay, even you can write this. And the last is atypical facial pain. So it is psychogenic in origin. So there is no laboratory test which is showing positivity, or the toothache will be there for overs, like for months and years together, and also repeated dental surgeries or dental therapies also fail to resolve the pain. So it's completely psychogenic. Okay, so this is how we have to write. So we have done with the main definition of the pain, followed by the sensory receptors, followed by the components of the pain and the pain pathway. Okay, later we have discussed the types of pain, whether it could be inflammatory or non-inflammatory, like the neuralgic and the functional. Then you can write the characteristics of the pain, and then you can write the classification. So later you can describe the dental pains and the mucogingival pains or the cutaneous pain. Okay, and then if possible you can describe the neuralgias and also the headaches if you can. So all this, after that you have how to assess the pain. Is this VAS score or visual analog score? So we'll ask the patient to rate. So if the, for example, in the first visit, if he gives a rating of from between 0 to 10, if he gives a rating of 9, then after the treatment he can give a rating of 3 or 4, and later after a week or so he can give like it is almost negligible. So it is like how you have to take the visual analog scale, and also there is a questionnaire which you can write. So this is important. So again you have to take the detailed history for the diagnosis of the pain. Detailed history taking have to be there. What is the chief complaint, the characteristics as we have discussed, the associated symptoms, the history of presenting illness and precipitating or aggravating or relieving factors. Then physical examination, you have to completely examine the oral mucosa, the teeth as well as the adjacent structures of the eyes, ears and nose, and the required investigations can be taken, whether it could be radiographs or lab tests or any others. Okay. Then the last, if you can write the management of pain. So this is how you have to write the management. So it is very important to write. In fact, you have to write the management how you do. So if it is dental pain, analgesics will solve the problem, whether it could be NSAIDs or ibuprofen. If it is inflammatory, you have to give antibiotics as well. So the dosage of antibiotics is given here. Amox is 500, and for anaerobic organisms it is metronidazole, which is 400. Then mucosal pains, you can give topical anesthetic gels like benzocaine and lignocaine, and topical steroid gels like 0.1% triamcinolone acetonide. And then the muscle pains, the muscle relaxants like the Flexon MR or high phenac MR. Nowadays Flexon MR is not there, it is high phenac MR that is being used mostly, which has a muscle relaxant in it along with the NSAID. So the muscle relaxant is chloroxazone, which is around 250 mg, and again paracetamol and ibuprofen are also there. Next is the neuralgic pains, which is anticonvulsants. So you can give carbamazepine or oxcarbamazepine. And the vascular pains like migraine is treated with beta blockers or ergotamide or any other 5-HT blockers. So these are how you have to write the management of pain. And if it is a psychogenic pain, you have to go with tricyclic antidepressants like amitriptyline and all that, and behavior modification has to be done. So this is how you have to start and end the answer. So you have to write the pain pathway, the components and all that, definition, pain pathway, the receptors, and you have to describe the types of pain. Then you have to give the classification, and if you can describe the classification, what all comes under those classification. And lastly, you have to write the assessment of pain, of how you do the VAS score, then the diagnosis based on the chief complaint, based on the history of presenting illness, based on your examination, and also based on the radiographs and the lab investigations, and finally how to manage the pain. So the answer should go exactly in this order. After this you can write the contents. Contents for essay question is very important because the examiner will have an idea of what all you have covered. Okay, so you have to write the contents which I have discussed now, and you can end up with the conclusion of whatever you feel, and the references. So references, you can give your physiology textbook, Guyton you can give the textbook of Shambulingam, and any few articles on trigeminal neuralgia